Hello everyone, this is Mike History 2, and as you can see I'm uploading a lot more often. So, today we'll be talking about the Battle of Pliska, as a continuation of our battle series. So, when Nicephorus I became Eastern Roman Emperor in 802, he planned to reincorporate Bulgarian territory back into Eastern Rome. In 807, he launched a campaign but only reached Odrin and achieved nothing because of a conspiracy in his capital, which is so typically Roman. That attempted attack, however, gave reason for the Bulgarian Khan, Krum, to invade the Eastern Roman Empire. The main objective was an extension to the south and southwest. In the next year, a Bulgarian army penetrated the Struma Valley and defeated the Eastern Romans. The Bulgarian troops captured over 330 kilograms of gold and killed many enemy soldiers, including all generals and most of the commanders. In 809, the Khan personally besieged the strong fortress of Serdica and seized the city, killing the whole garrison of 6,000. In 811, the Eastern Roman Emperor organized a large campaign to conquer Bulgaria once and for all. He gathered an enormous army from Anatolia and Europe and the imperial bodyguard, and they were joined by a number of irregular troops who expected a swift victory and plunder. The conquest was supposed to be easy, and most of his high-ranking officials and aristocrats accompanied him, including his son Staurakios and his brother-in-law Michael I Rangabi. The whole army consisted of around 80,000 soldiers. The army gathered in May and by July 10th had set up camp at the fortress of Marseille near the Bulgarian border. Nicephorus intended to confuse them and over the next 10 days launched several supposed attacks, which were immediately called back. Krum assessed the situation and estimated that he could not repulse the enemy and offered peace, which Nicephorus rejected. In June, he invaded Bulgaria and marched through the Balkan passes towards the capital of Pliska. On July 20th, Nicephorus divided the army into 3 columns, each marching by a different route towards Pliska. He met little resistance, and after 3 days he reached the capital, where the Eastern Romans met an army of 12,000 elite soldiers who guarded the stronghold. The Bulgarians were defeated, and most of them perished. Another hastily assembled army of 50,000 soldiers had a similar fate. On July 23rd, the Eastern Romans quickly captured the defenseless capital. The city was sacked and the countryside destroyed. Krum attempted once more to negotiate for peace. Nicephorus, however, overconfident from his success, ignored him. He believed that Bulgaria had been thoroughly conquered. Nicephorus's troops committed many atrocities and devastated Pliska. The emperor took over Krum's treasury, locked it, and did not allow his troops to reach it. Nicephorus and his army were busy plundering the Bulgarian capital. Krum mobilized his people to set traps and ambushes in the mountain passes. Initially, Nicephorus intended to march through Moesia and reach Serdica before returning to Constantinople. But the news of these preparations for battle changed his decision, and he chose the shortest way to his capital. The overconfident emperor neglected to scout ahead. On July 25th, his army entered the Varbica Pass. His cavalry told him that the road was barred with thick wooden walls, and Krum's detachments watched from the heights around. The emperor became panicked by the situation. Before they could retreat, the Bulgarians blocked the valley entrance too. Nicephorus, unable to face attacking one of the palisades, simply set up camp. By the third night, Eastern Roman morale was shattered, while Bulgarian troops banged their shields and taunted them. On that night, the Bulgarians gathered their troops and tightened the belt around the trapped enemy. At dawn, they rushed down and started to kill the panicked and totally confused Eastern Romans. The imperial guards were the first to be attacked. The Eastern Romans fruitlessly resisted for a short time and died. Upon seeing their comrades' fate, the next units immediately ran away. On their way south, the Eastern Roman forces hit a muddy river which was difficult to cross. As they could not find a ford quickly enough, many Eastern Romans fell into the river. The first stalled in the mud with their horses and were trampled by those who came next. The river was filled with so many dead that the chasing Bulgarians easily passed over them and continued the pursuit. Those who passed through the river reached the wooden wall, which was high and thick. The Eastern Romans left their horses and began climbing the wall with hands and legs and hung over the other side. The Bulgarians had dug a deep moat, though, from the inner side, and when the Eastern Roman soldiers were getting across the ramparts, they fell from the high wall, breaking their limbs. Some of them died instantly, others hobbled some time before falling to the ground and dying from thirst and hunger. Man, these troops were really unlucky. The Eastern Roman troops burned the wall at several places, but as they were rushing to get across it, they too fell into the moat along with the burning parts of the palisade. Almost everyone died. Some were killed by the sword, others drowned in the river, or were mortally injured after falling from the wall, and some of them died in the fire. Only a few survived this catastrophic defeat. The most notable person to be killed, however, was Emperor Nicephorus, who, according to historians, died on a poop hill on the day of the battle. Nicephorus' son Stauracius was carried to safety by the imperial bodyguard after receiving a paralyzing wound to his neck. 6 months later, his wounds finally killed him. Crumb put the emperor's head on a spike, then lined his skull with silver and used it as a drinking cup. Clearly, the Bulgarians had got their revenge. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will be doing another battle very soon.